fellow!" he shouted. "Good for nothing! Hi! Yup, yup, yup!" Every utterance of the word "yup" was accompanied by a kick, and the result was that the Malay sprang up, snatched his kris from where it had been thrown on the head of a cask, and striking left and right made his way aft, master of the deck once more. "Well, that's nice," growled the captain. "I thought them knots wouldn't hold," drawled Jack Penny. "He's been wriggling and twisting his arms and legs about ever since he lay there. I thought he'd get away." "Then why didn't you say so, you great long jointed 2-foot rule?" roared the captain. "Here, now then, all together. I'm skipper here. Rush him, my lads. Never mind his skewer." The captain's words seemed to electrify his little crew, and I venture to say his passengers as well. Everyone seized some weapon, and headed by the skipper, we charged down upon the savage as he stood brandishing his weapon. He stood fast, watchful as a tiger, for some moments, and then made a dash at our extreme left, where Jack Penny and I were standing, and I had no doubt that he would have cut his way through to our cost, but for a quick motion of the captain, who struck out with his left hand, hitting the Malay full on the cheek. The man made a convulsive spring and fell back on the edge of the bulwarks, where he seemed to give a writhe, and then before a hand could reach him there was a loud splash and he had disappeared in the sea. We all rushed to the side, but the water was thick from the effects of the storm, and we could not for a few moments make out anything. Then all at once the swarthy convulsed face of the man appeared above the wave, and he began to swim towards the side, yelling for help. "Ah!" said the skipper, smiling, "that's about put him out. Nothing like cold water for squenching fire." "Hi yup! Hi yup!" shouted Jimmy, who forgot his wound and danced up and down, holding on by the bulwarks, his shining black face looking exceedingly comic with a broad bandage of white linen across his brow. "Hi yup! Hi yup!" he shouted. "Bunyip double sharp coming. Bite him legs." "Help!" shrieked the Malay in piteous tones as he swam on, clutching at the slippery sides of the schooner. "Help!" growled the captain. "What for? Here, you, let me have that there kris. Hitch it on that cord." As he spoke the captain threw the thin line with which the Malay had been bound, the poor wretch snatching at it frantically, but as he did so it was pulled away from his despairing clutch. "I could noose him," drawled Jack Penny coolly. "I've often caught father's rams like that." "Yes, but your father's rams hadn't got knives," said the captain grimly. "No, but they got horns," said Jack quietly. "Ain't going to drown him, are you?" "Not I, boy. He'll drown himself if we leave him alone." "I don't like to see fellows drown," said Jack, and he left the bulwarks and sat down on the hatchway edge. "Tell a fellow when it's all over, Joe Carstairs." "Help! Help!" came hoarsely from the poor wretch, and my hands grew wet inside, and a horrible sensation seemed to be attacking my chest as I watched the struggles of the drowning man with starting eyes, for though he swam like a fish, the horror of his situation seemed to have unnerved him, and while he kept on swimming it was with quick wearying effort, and he was sinking minute by minute lower in the water. "For heaven's sake, throw the poor wretch a rope, captain," said the doctor. "What, to come aboard and knife some of us?" growled the captain. "Better let him drown. Plenty of better ones than him to be had for £1 a month." "Oh, captain!" I cried indignantly, for my feelings were too much for me, and I seized a rope just as the Malay went down, after uttering a despairing shriek. "Let that rope alone, boys," said the skipper with a grim smile. "There, he's come up again. Catch hold," he cried, and he threw his line so the Malay could seize it, which he did, winding it round and round one arm, while the slowly sailing schooner dragged him along through the sea. "I'm only giving him a reg'lar good squencher, doctor. I don't want him aboard with a spark left in him to break out again. We've had enough of that. Haul him aboard, lads, and shove him in the chain locker to get dry. We'll set him ashore first chance." The Malay was hauled aboard with no very gentle hands by the white sailors, and as soon as he reached the deck he began crawling to the captain's feet, to which he clung, with gesture after gesture full of humility, as he talked excitedly in a jargon of broken English and Malay. "That's what I don't like in these fellows," said Jack Penny quietly. "They're either all bubble or else all squeak." "Yes, he's about squinched now, squire," said the captain. "Here, shove him under hatches, and it's lucky for you I'm not in a hanging humour today. You'd better behave yourself, or you may be brought up again some day when I am." As the captain spoke to the streaming, shivering wretch, he made a noose in the rope he held, manipulating it as if he were really going to hang the abject creature, in whom the fire of rage had quite become extinct. Then the sailors took hold of him, and he uttered a despairing shriek, but he cooled down as he found that he was only to be made a prisoner, and was thrust below, with Jimmy dancing a war dance round him as he went, the said dance consisting of bounds from the deck and wavings of his waddy above his head. As the Malay was secured, Jack Penny rose from his seat and walked to the side of the vessel to spit into the water with every sign of disgust upon his face. "Yeah," he said, "I wouldn't squeak like that, not if they hung me." "Well, let's see," cried the captain, catching him by the collar. "Hanging is the punishment for stowaways, my fine fellow." "Get out," said Jack, giving himself a sort of squirm and shaking himself free. "You ain't going to scare me. Besides, you know what you said. I say, though, when are we going to have something to eat?" The captain stared at Jack's serious face for a few moments, and then he joined with the doctor and me in a hearty laugh. "I don't well understand you yet, my fine fellow," he said. "Perhaps I shall, though, afore I've done. Here, come down. You do look as if a little wholesome victuals would do you good. Are you hungry, then?" "Hungry!" said Jack without a drawl, and he gave his teeth a gnash. "Why, I ain't had nothing but some damper and a bottle of water since I came on board." Chapter 5. How we found Jack Penny.